Okay, to illustrate yung different transformations that we have learned so far, let us have this example. Draw a sketch of the graph of the function f of x equals 3 cosine of 1/2 pi x plus 1/3 pi. Okay, so remember yung general form of the equation is f of x equals a. Okay, since this is a cosine function, so cosine of bx minus c. Okay? So, kapag ginamitan natin ito ng parallelism, so our A is equal to 3, B is pi over 2, and C is, okay, so magdi-negative yung C natin, negative pi over 3. Okay, so pi over 3. Huwag na lang natin ilagay yung negative. Okay, so pi over 3. Basta alam natin that since magkaiba no, yung signs ng C natin, we will shift our our graph later on to the left instead of to the right. Okay, so C is pi over 3. Okay, so based from the values of A, B, and C, malalaman na natin yung tatlong important transformation sa graph natin. Amplitude, okay, so based from the given, the amplitude is now equal to the absolute value of A, which is equal to 3. And then the period is 2 pi over B, or 2 pi over the absolute value of B. 2 pi over B is 2 pi over 2. So, ibig sabihin nito, this is, okay, 4, right? So, this is 4. Okay, so the period is 4, and then the phase shift, okay, the phase shift is C over B. Okay, so C over B is pi over 3 divided by pi over 2. So this one is equal to, what is that? Pi over 3 divided by pi over 2 is 2/3. Okay, so 2 over 3 yung ating phase shift. So how do we graph? We know the amplitude, the period, and the phase shift. How do we graph this in the Cartesian plane? Okay, so alam natin that the amplitude is 3. Okay, so ibig sabihin nito, the height of our wave, yung height ng ating cosine wave, the maximum will be positive 3 and the minimum is negative 3. And then the period becomes 4. 4, ibig sabihin nito, the one complete cycle of the graph is now from 0 to 4. Okay, so 0 to 4 na yung one complete cycle of the graph. So yun lang yung kailangan natin actually, from 0 to 4. And then phase shift tayo ng 2/3. Ibig sabihin from 0 to 4, magsi-shift tayo ng 2/3 units to the left. Okay? To the left yung shift natin because yung given natin dito is plus 1/3 pi. Okay? Kung plus yan, ang shift natin ng ating graph ay to the left. Kapag minus naman yan, ang shift ng ating graph ay to the right. So basically, kailangan lang natin, okay? Wag na nating i-draw yung original graph of a cosine function. We know how that looks like already. So, i-graph na natin yung mga transformation graphs, okay? So, this is our x and y axis. This is, okay, x. Ito yung f of x or y. Okay, so, ang kailangan natin ay 4. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, our amplitude is 3. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is our 3. This is our negative 3. So, since hindi na yung pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi, hindi na yon yung kailangan natin because we have computed for the period to be 4. Yun na yung i-divide natin ng 4 agad, yung 4. So, kung 4 ang period nito, then kapag dinivide natin ito, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yan na yung 4 na parts ng ating graph, 'di ba? Yung sa kung ano yung period, i-divide mo lang into 4. Okay? So, wag na yung 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. So, i-compute mo na yung period. Whatever the period is, you divide it by 4. Yun na yung transformation niya. And then, phase shift. Ibig sabihin nito, okay, i-draw natin isa-isa. Okay? Una muna, considering the period and the amplitude. So, ang graph ng cosine dito, 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 dyan, and then doon. Okay? Ibig sabihin nito, the graph of the cosine function ay ganito. Okay. And then, ito na yung may amplitude and period. And then, yung phase shift is 2/3 unit to the left. Ibig sabihin, since the x is 0 dito, i-shift lang natin ng 2/3. Yung mga points na to, i-shift natin ng 2/3. So, 0 minus 2/3, magkakaroon na tayo ng negative 2/3. So, if this is negative 1, nandito yung negative 2/3. Ano? So, yung point na to will go dito, 2/3 unit to the left. Itong point na to will go 2/3 units to the left. Itong point na to will go 2/3 unit to the left. Itong point na to will go 2/3 unit to the left. And then yung point na yan will go 2/3 unit to the left. Everything will go to the left. Ano? And then connect the we connect the points. Yan. Yan na yung graph natin ng given na function. Okay? So, periodic itong graph na to, ibig sabihin, this can go indefinitely in both directions pa. Okay? So, you can continue on graphing just like that. Okay? That's how we graph this function. Okay, remember, ito, naging example ko sa isang klase, but I think mali yung phase shift natin kasi yung phase shift natin is parang pi over 3 lang, ano, yung phase shift natin. Pero dapat, the phase shift is C over B, not just simply C, okay? Our phase shift is C over B, okay? So, that's all for this example.